So today I wanted to talk about Candida and Candida overgrowth. I wanted to talk about it because I wanted to be able to share my experience with it, how I overcame it, overcame the problems of it, and also provide some kind of hope from those of you who are researching it online and finding that it can be very scary, frightening, and made out to be really evil in some ways. It's cool. We're going to do it nice and easy, and we'll do it with a bit of honesty and an honest look at it so that you can beat it if you think it's bothering you. Cool. One of the reasons I thought I'd put this video together is because when you look up Candida on the internet, it seems like it's evil. Like it's like an evil power within your body for some reason. But I wanted to tell you my experience so that it might make it easier for you, because I actually suffered from it pretty bad. And I beat it, and it was very difficult to beat. It took time, it took effort, but it changed my life completely. Another one of those health things that I did that changed my life completely. But it does. It's really a big deal. First thing I want to start with is that Candida is a normal part of your body. So don't hate it. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't wage war against Candida, waging war against your own body. And just take it nice and easy and understand that Candida overgrowth can lead to a lot of suffering, but there are solutions. And maybe there's a reason why it's there, and we should look deeper into that. Candida actually does a good job in your gut with bacteria, with regulating bad bacteria. It's the Candida overgrowth is when there becomes quite a problem. So don't have shame about having Candida or the reasons why you got it, because those are kind of the lower energies. And to beat this, I think that you should probably find a way of finding acceptance of the reasons why it got there. And the reasons why it got there is usually what people equate to shame and guilt and the devil and bad things. Is a lot of it has to do with sugar consumption and alcohol consumption. When it comes to the sugar consumption and Candida, I want you to think about how sugar changed in our lives. From my recollection in these documentaries I've seen, I think that started pretty much in the 80s. In the 80s, when they were trying to find that certain fix, I think it was the Coca-Cola company, they were trying to find that level of high fructose corn syrup that would keep a person pretty much addicted to their drink. Companies ended up using that model and saying, okay, wait, so what's that level? Okay, because we want to put that now in our bread. There's no real reason to put it in our bread, but if we can get people stuck on this, then they will keep buying our product and make us rich. So you can imagine, but by the 80s and 90s, that we were having a bunch of unnecessary processed high fructose corn syrup shoved into our diet so that we would buy more products from these companies. And with your body not knowing how to react or break down these high fructose corn syrups, we are stuck with bad health and a reaction like Candida overgrowth. So I'm going to go back to the guilt thing. If you have guilt that you have a sugar addiction and you can't seem to get over it, don't feel too bad about that, okay? From my experience with this, it wasn't even exactly me or my willpower that stopped me from getting over the sugar addiction. It was the Candida in my body that was craving it nonstop. So there's no reason to really have guilt about things that you've put on the table or your parents put on the table for you over the years, and it's just a normal part of your body now. Another area where there might be guilt with this too when it comes to Candida growth, and the reason why it's seen as bad, is because of alcohol consumption. Alcohol feeds the Candida. From the way I researched it when I was coming off of this and trying to find information on it, I found that the Candida was actually helping my body because I was consuming more alcohol than I should have, and the Candida was taking it so that it wouldn't kill me. And being a macho young teenager and then going into college and being around tons of drinking, I'm going to tell you right now, I did tons of it. I didn't do a lot of drugs, but the drinking was like a socially fun, macho man thing to do. And I realized that there were lasting effects of that on my body. My dad was suffering from alcoholism, so by the age of 22, 23, I decided, you know what, I think I'm going to quit alcohol for good because it's making him sick, and Even he is telling me, don't follow in my footsteps. So I took that advice and I quit. And that's the thing that's really difficult about Candida Overgrowth, is that I quit alcohol. But all of a sudden, because the alcohol wasn't there to supply and provide for the Candida, sugar cravings started kicking in. Sugar cravings that I never had. The sugar satisfied the Candida, and I kept on going with the sugar and thought, well, the sugar's not really bothering me. The alcohol can lead to alcoholism and different problems, but the sugar, I'm lean, I'm in good shape. I also wondered sometimes, like, how come I'm not gaining weight from a lot of the sugar? I'm not really getting that. Or how come I'm not getting these sugar headaches that everyone talks about? And so when you have so much sugar, I just get a headache. I wasn't getting any of that. But I think the reason why I wasn't getting any of that is because the sugar was being consumed by the overgrowth of Candida. So as I've spoken about in other videos, especially with the information I give on the parasite cleanse, the parasite cleanse solution that I was taking was killing also the Candida. The probiotics that I added to my diet right after that ended up killing the Candida. Now, from what I experienced, and everyone's experience is probably different, and I'm not even sure really about what happened with this because it wasn't under a doctor's care. There was no way for them to x-ray my body to find out where the Candida was at. But I believed I was suffering in areas where the Candida had overgrown. The places I seemed to suffer most was in my lungs. My lungs suffered quite a bit from the Candida overgrowth. When I had die-off after the parasite cleanse, my lungs seemed to be affected in some way. From the research, I thought the Candida was only in my gut, and that's where I would have to take care of it with the probiotics, but apparently it travels. I felt pain in my joints while I was going through die-off. I had headaches and brain fog while I was going through die-off. And what I'm discussing right now lasted months. It wasn't something that just, a couple weeks and it was done. But during this time, I had to come to terms with myself and my actions. It started coming together, the reasons how it got there and why it got there. And I was able to confront my past and my drinking. Took an introspective look at my life and what I had done to it. The reasons why I was drinking. The unhappiness I might have been feeling deep down inside under all the fun and laughter behind the drinking. During this time, I'll never forget it. And I'm not pushing religion on you or any kind of things, but I do push story because I love stories. I love great stories. And some of the best ones come from different religions, from parables. I mean, those are the best way that these wise people were able to explain to people what this life is, how to live it, what we're supposed to be doing, and goals that you can meet. This was my first encounter with the Essenes Gospel of Peace. On one of these sites where I was looking up where people were talking about how Candida was completely evil, I encountered the Essenes Gospel of Peace, and it starts with Jesus coming to some people who are suffering physically, and they see him shining. When they say that they want to be like him, Jesus does his teachings. Okay, now the best part of the Gospel of Essenes is when he gives the story of the prodigal son. It's a little different in the Gospel of Essenes, though. He talks about how the son grows up and is given everything from his father, and he's having a blast and just taking everything in and just absorbing everything and having a party. Everything's fun. But the father ends up realizing he's not going to know love or love for me because he keeps on going down this route. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop paying his debts. So the father steps away, the son racks up all this debt. Finally, the person who the boy owes the debt to ends up showing up and saying, okay, it's time to pay up. And that's when the son says, yeah, my dad's going to take care of it. No. Your dad stopped paying the bill quite a while ago. You owe me. Pay up. This is when the son suffers horribly. And the story, they talk about how pretty much he was a slave, put in chains, put in shackles, and completely made to suffer. So much that he's begging of his father, trying to talk to his father, saying, please help me. The son even starts realizing, like, you know what, I took so much in excess that I didn't even really need. There are certain things that make me happy, but I was taking so much, and now that's put me here in this debt that I can't get out of. After quite a while, where I believe the father ends up thinking, I think that he understands this, he ends up paying silver coins to the person he owes the debt to and lets him free. He's able to have a taste again of a happy life. But he walks with caution from that point forward. And what the father shows him, he says, you know what, now you truly understand love and what I give to you. And because now you have a better understanding of it, I'm giving you the keys to the kingdom. Because there's much more than this available to you. And now that you know and have an understanding, you've earned it. In the story, Jesus gives an interpretation of how we, human beings, are the children. And we're brought here, think about yourself being young, taking on sugar, everything you want, and you don't seem to have to pay up too much debt. But we know that as we grow older, the debt starts piling up. That's the feeling of having God leave us or step away so that we can understand how to value our gifts, our life, our body. I love this because from that point forward of reading this story, it made me think and realize what I find very truth is that we have like a body karma in a way. They say we all have a consciousness, even our cells have a consciousness, and that there's talk about cellular memory. Well, think about the stuff that you put into your body. If you haven't forgiven certain things, you haven't come to terms with certain things, you haven't repaired certain things, you might be in big trouble. That's what I love about this story. But there is help. I follow Anthony William, and he talks about angels, praying to angels while you're going through ways to heal yourself, that angels can help. Jesus explains in the story that those silver coins are actually the angels. Those are the angels that step in and kind of help you pay off your debt, even though you don't know it. And at long last, when you pay your debt, you are welcomed back into the kingdom. You are rejuvenated, regenerated in a way. It's a story that I love a lot, so I'm putting the link down below if you'd like to give it a quick read. Maybe it might speak to you in some way, because it really spoke to me. And I really think about that every time I put part of the earth into my body through plant life. And I've also thought about it when I put animals into my body. And it's given me a new relationship with angels also, because I believed in angels. I like the Gospel of the Essenes and the angels that they discuss there. I like that Medical Medium ended up coming out with a book that had a list of angels that I saw were part of the Essenes Gospel of Peace also. And I love believing that there's someone out there that or something out there that's helping me out a lot, even though I don't even know it. It helps me appreciate this life that I'm a part of. Now, after all that, and after understanding this and making these changes in my body, I won. I won the fight with Candida. And while I was going through it, because I had a new appreciation of my life and my health and acceptance for what I had done, for what I had done to my body over the years, it ended up paying off for the best. I mean, it was worth it. It was worth all the struggle I had to go through. But I would like to remind you again, too, is that if you decide to do this, and when you're going through the suffering, the guilt and shame will not help you. Go through it with acceptance, with understanding, with love. Love your body. This is all a part of the process, okay? There's no reason to punish yourself further. But when you choose love and you choose joy to go through these punishments that you see, it makes it all worthwhile. I won the battle against Candida, and the main measuring stick to that, it wasn't, like I said, a doctor wasn't able to say, hey, all your Candida's gone, we done an x-ray on you. It wasn't like that. But I knew, because when I had sugar after that, it hurt. It was not good. Drinking a soda would give me instant headache. Horrible. Certain kinds of chocolates, certain kind of sweets, certain kinds of pastries, anything. My life had to change. But because my wife and I are really into food and we really enjoy it, we found that there are ways that we can enjoy sweets that don't hurt our body, that don't cause a candida overgrowth. Most of those come in a very natural way. Some of those natural ones still bother me, but I found my ways. She makes cookies. I still have sweets once in a while. I have dark chocolate like every day. So there are a lot of things that you can still do after you break free of the candida. I wanted to be able to help with sharing my story because I do believe that most of the people doing this candida overgrowth fight that they're in are doing it alone. Most of them don't seem to be doing it with a doctor, with a health practitioner. They're trying to find their own way. So my path hopefully might be able to help somebody who is out there trying to do something to change your body, because yes, the candida overgrowth, especially when you start getting older, is a real beating. It's really, really difficult. And you're going to have to suffer a bit, but you can do it. It's possible. I would like to leave you with something that help you check to see if you might have candida overgrowth. So it's called the spit test, I guess. That's what most people call it. So you grab a glass of water, you fill it to the top, and I think it's in the morning, upon first waking, you spit into the glass and you leave it alone. You step away for minutes, you come back, and if the spit looks normal as the way you left it when you spit into it, then you probably don't have Candida overgrowth. If you see what looks like a web or like stringy all the way through the glass and that your spit has changed, that can be Candida overgrowth. When I already knew I had Candida and when I was already fighting it, I saw this spit test on the Dr. Oz show. And right away I thought, I'm doing it. I don't care if it's not morning, it's the first spit of the day, I'm doing this. I did it, and sure enough, I had exactly everything showing me that I might be having issues with Candida overgrowth. So give it a shot, write down in the comments, let me know how it goes, and if you can, like and subscribe. I will see you on the next video. Love you. Peace.